So I think we will get started. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. And just a few housekeeping matters. You should be seeing my screen. However, if you are not seeing it big enough, you can just double tap on it and it will show up a little bigger. As well, there's only space for 9 persons to be on video. So if you do intend to, ask a few questions after the presentation, feel free to do so or by sharing your video and audio and then muting your mic when you are not speaking. Okay, so let's get started. So my name is Vashti Ramsey-Casimir, and I am from Antigua and Barbuda, and we are located in the Caribbean. I am the Senior Tourism Officer responsible for sustainable tourism development at the Ministry of Tourism there. And I'm also the network leader for Greenfins Antigua and Barbuda. So today I'm just going to give you a sneak peek, well, not a sneak peek, but a view of who we are as Antigua and Barbuda as a destination, bringing some awareness to the Greenfins program and what are the benefits that we as Antigua and Barbuda would have received, and as well just some of the best practices that would have been garnered from being a part of this program among our current membership. So I just want to start with a short little clip just to give you an idea of who we are as Antigua and Barbuda. So you're just seeing a peek into just our terrestrial environment and our marine environment. This is the Cades Reef. Some of our Antiguan people, some of the friendliest persons around. All right, so that was just a sneak peek into who we are as a destination and just showing you some of the things that we are well known for. So who are we? We are, as I said before, we're positioned in the Caribbean, just where the Atlantic Sea and the Caribbean Sea meet. We are known for our reef-lined beaches. We actually have 365 beaches. We're also known for our breathtaking marine and terrestrial environment. As you saw in the video, we have the rolling green hills and we have the beautiful marine environment. We're also known for our spectacular resorts, from high-end to budget. We are also known as a premier yachting destination, as a romance destination, and we're also known for friendly people. And you saw a bit of that in the video. We are a small destination. We have 2 main islands, Antigua, which is the larger one, and we're about 108 square miles, and we have Barbuda at 65 square miles. And we are dotted around us. We have a number of offshore islands and islets. that make up our Twin Island destination. And we are small because we have an approximate amount of 100,000 persons who are with us or on island. So Antigua and Barbuda, as you can see from the video, we have a lot of scenic views and marine and terrestrial experiences that you can have. And so tourism has been and continues to be our main economic earner. Just to give you a sneak peek into what 2019 was. So 2019, this was prior to COVID, we were at a little over 300,000 persons in terms of our air arrival. This was the best season we would have had. And sea, between the cruise and the yachting persons, we had over 700,000 visitors. And these visitors spent. And so we had approximately just a little over 700 million US dollars being left into the country. And a lot of this was spent on experiences. And we offer a lot of different experiences, but a lot of persons come to the destination to experience the beaches and experience the coastal waters. So marine activities form a major part of what our product is. What are we offering? And diving and snorkeling being the larger product offering, although that's what persons are looking for within the destination. And we have some of the clearest and the warmest waters there is. And so you can practically snorkel and dive within our waters all year round. And we have a number of dive sites. We have reefs and we have wrecks that can be used. And you would have seen in the previous video, we had the Cades Reef, which stresses a significant distance. It's one of the larger reefs that we do have, and it offers a diverse region for diving and snorkeling because, of course, it descends a number of meters. And so there's a lot that you can see and a lot that you can, just experience within that reef. So I just want to give you an idea and just delve a little closer, a little deeper into what we have to offer. You have here our turtle, rays. There is Stingray City, one of our operators, and they offer swimming with the stingrays. We have the Pillars of Hercules, which is one of our major dive sites, very popular, very scenic. And of course, we have the mangroves. This is just an idea of what our coast looks like. And of course, we have here two divers who would have experienced a wonderful diving session. And so they're all happy as they return to shore. So with all of this, Antigua recognizing that we have this spectacular marine environment and we have, our terrestrial environment as well, this is what our product is based on. And so we need to do something to ensure that it is protected and it is sustained for times to come. And so we started our green journey. And we've been on it for some time, for a number of years. And I'm just going to outline for you a few of the activities and a few of the projects and programs that we have instituted. We were the first country in the Western Hemisphere to ban single-use plastic bags, and this happened in 2016. We also banned polystyrene shortly after that. And this is all the styrofoam containers and all the other utensils that are made from polystyrene. We also passed the Environmental Protection and Management Act. Well, the amendment was actually passed in 2019, but in about 2014 or 15, somewhere around there, we passed the act. And in essence, this is really outlining the regulations as it relates to protecting our marine and our terrestrial environments. We then, as the Ministry of Tourism, implemented the Green Tourism Initiative. And essentially, this is looking at all our tourism service providers and looking at their operations and how their operations can benefit the environment, benefit society, the local people, and benefit our heritage and our culture. And so we focused on things like energy management, water management, waste management, and just looking and working with all our tour operators, our hotels, our restaurants and bars, and working with them to ensure that their operations were, having a positive effect, or at least not negatively impacting the environment. And then last year, 2019, we implemented the Greenfins program. And as the slide says, we were the first English-speaking country in the Western Hemisphere to implement this program. And the thing is, the government realized that we are an island destination and we depend, so we're surrounded by water, we're surrounded by rich marine resources, and we're dependent on that for our livelihoods. And so we know that there are environmental pressures that are put on the marine environment from climate change, from fishing, but tourism and our offerings in the marine environment also add to those pressures. So this program was really adopted to address any negative pressures that may be on that marine environment, because at the end of the day, this is what the destination and our tour operators who operate in the marine area depend upon for earnings. So why Greenfins Antigua and Barbuda? I just mentioned it, but some of the benefits though, on a destination level, this is the only, Greenfins is the only recognized environmental standard for the industry. So this is a UNEP program and it's internationally recognized. So of course, as we adopt it, you're also a part of that whole team. The international recognition is there. Persons begin to see you as an environmentally friendly destination. There are also environmental benefits. I would have mentioned that before. Divers and snorkelers want a vibrant coral reefs. They want a vibrant marine area. And so this program helps the destination or helps our operators to be more equipped to ensure that during their dives, during their tours, the environment is preserved. As well, it caused us to have an increased national awareness of the need to protect the environment, or rather the marine environment. Now, persons, the regular man on the street would say, yes, we need to protect our coral reefs and leave it at that. But through this program, we were able to raise additional awareness so persons can see, how is this affecting me in the long run? And really, how is it important to me as an individual? And so with that, raising that awareness, the efforts to adopt practices to ensure protection, that too was increased. For the businesses, now we had about 6 businesses who adopted this pretty much immediately, and they would have seen, well, some or most would have seen that the businesses now attract more sustainably minded visitors. It's not that it didn't before, but it's more so now because they have been Greenfin certified. And so persons, if we understand how the market works, sustainability minded persons want to, or they seek out businesses that practice the social and the environmental standards and ensuring that these things are protected when they go on their tours. And so this obviously, because these persons also do spend more, so this benefits the business. Protecting our coral reefs and other marine environment, because this is what the livelihood of our diving and snorkeling industry would rely on. This is their livelihood. This is what they rely on. And of course, there was actually an increased awareness of regulations, because before we did this program, we did not realize that majority, or maybe not majority, but a good portion of the diving and snorkeling operators did not fully understand what regulations were in place in Antigua and Barbuda to protect the marine environment. And so with this program, we were able to raise that awareness among most of them. And what you found now was more of a willingness of the private sector, the tourism operators, to assist us in monitoring some of these protected areas and the other marine areas. Because of course, with government, who sets the regulations and the standards, the most difficult issue that we have is human resource. So the fact that these diving and snorkeling operations who are there every day, maybe sometimes twice a day, depending on the amount of persons that they get, it's extremely helpful with enforcement. So overall, we can say that the program allowed for increased interest in the marine environment, but with the increased interest, there was that increased want or desire for positive changes. And we also had increased collaboration because we would have worked with a number of private sector persons, NGOs, to establish the program, and we continue to do so. Okay, so just a little idea of what the process is. It's a very simple process. Registration is the first step, and this is for free. And it is done through the Ministry of Tourism, because the Ministry of Tourism is the lead on this. And you reach out to the Ministry of Tourism, and a form is provided to you, and you fill out that form, very simple process. And then we forward it to our local assessors, which I'll get to in a minute. And you schedule your environmental assessment. And during that assessment, the assessors are able to look at your business operations from the meet and greet all throughout the tour, and when you say goodbye to your guests, and looking at that and looking at the operations to see and grading it against a set code of conduct that has been established by Greenfins, which again, it's an international program. So you're looking at international standards or international guidelines. And based on that assessment, the assessor then meets with the business and meets with the operator and looks at what are the gaps or what are the things that may need to be addressed. And there's a short training that is held and further consultation to look at low cost or rather affordable improvements that can be made to the business. And then certification is received by that business, and it is for free. So you receive your certificate and you're added to the Greenfin site, which is a site that is globally recognized and gets your name out there. And then you prepare yourself for your annual assessment, because the certification is for 1 year, and then you would have to have some improvements during the next assessment, and so you'll be able to go up the tiers of certification that Greenfins offers. So as I said, there is a team that actually manages this process, and this is just look at the leadership team. We have here our 3 local assessors, because one of the big things that we did through Reef World Foundation, who really assisted us in getting this program started, in 2019, they were able to train 3 assessors, local persons that are from our government side and from our NGO. So it's the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Fisheries, and EAG/Flora and Fauna International, who were trained. And this helped us a great deal. This was a big thing for us, because then we don't have to depend on an assessor from overseas coming every year to do these assessments. So we trained up 3 persons, and the others are members of the administrative and the leadership team. So this is really the face of Greenfins Antigua Barbuda. As I said, we had an assessment team, and these are our members here from the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Fisheries, and from EAG, Flora and Fauna International. And we're hoping that in 2021, we would be able to train up a few other persons. Now, I had indicated before that we had 6 businesses who were certified. We were able to get them certified in 2019, and we had hoped to expand in 2020. But of course, with COVID-19 and things being a little unstable, we decided to hold off on that, though we still worked with the various operators, still had discussions with them, sharing with them some of the green practices that they could continue to maintain once they would have started back businesses. And so in 2021, we are now preparing for that to be reinstituted full force, for us to be working with a number of other tour operators, because we have like about 30 diving and snorkeling operators. And so we do 6, we do need to train some others and have them certified. So those businesses who are currently certified are Scooter Snorkeling, Dive Carib, which I think a representative is here, Louis. And this is one of our top diving operators. We also did South Coast Horizons, Adventure Antigua, and Jolly Dive. So the next few slides are just going to show you a little bit of information and some photos of these participants or of these members, just to give you an idea of who they are. So we have Scooter Snorkeling. They offer motorized snorkeling. And this is one of the companies who have been certified, Greenfin certified. Again, this is just some photos of them. We have Adventure Antigua, who has been in this business since 1999, and they offer snorkeling tours. We see here them swimming with the stingrays, and they also offer they teach children and young people as well how to snorkel, and that's a big thing for us because then at least there's someone that's doing that. And also you see here, as I had mentioned before, our offshore islands, and this is one of them, the Hell's Gate Island, and Adventure Antigua offers snorkeling tours through this through their offerings. Then we have Dive Carib. Dive Carib has been with us since 2019 as a Greenfins member. This is their office, and they actually operate within the national parks area. And some of the sites that they visit are like Pillars of Hercules and Godzilla's Lair. And I invite you to just look them up because you will then see what is there to be offered. And just a few photos of them diving among our reefs. And Antigua Reef Riders, this is another snorkeling agency or a snorkeling operator who offers motorized snorkeling. And you see here just some photos of the marine life that can be seen on the tour, as well as what has been happening. So the next few slides, I'm going to share with you some of the best practices. Now, all of these operators have been involved in diving and snorkeling for a number of years. They've also been doing some of the or making considerations for the environment during their tours as well. However, with Greenfins, they were able to upscale a bit and increase that whole environmental understanding of the environment and how it can be preserved through their tours. So I'm just going to outline a few of the best practices of some of the Greenfins members. So we have Scooter Snorkeling. Now they operate primarily in the national parks area, and the national parks area is it has the terrestrial, so it has the land and it also has the sea. So what we found, because as I mentioned before, there was, through this program, persons had a better understanding of the regulations and so forth that existed. And so they were able, Scooter Snorkeling specifically, the others too, but Scooter Snorkeling assisted more in reporting any damage or any activities that were not supposed to be happening in the marine environment. And again, this was key because Scooter Snorkeling is there pretty much every day. And so they're able to see any changes in the marine environment where they snorkel. Antigua Reef Riders. Now, one of the issues we have banned single-use plastic bags. However, plastic water bottles have not yet been banned. And so they still use them, and for health reasons as well, they still use these water bottles. And what they have done, because they saw that there was an increase in the amount of waste that they had, and so they teamed up with a local NGO called Adopt a Coastline. And what they would do is donate the bottles to this NGO, and the NGO would then be able to upscale it into different things. And one of the things that particular NGO did with those bottles was to make waste baskets, small and large waste baskets, which they were able to donate to some and also to sell to make some money. So that was a great thing. We have Adventure Antigua. One of the things that they are heavily involved in is environmental activism. The owner is really an advocate for the environment, having basically grown up on the water. And they too, the company has also been actively involved in the Antigua Sea Turtle Project, which really looks at, because there are a number of nesting sites around Antigua and Barbuda, and so they have been involved in that project. Then we have Dive Carib. One of the things that, or the most recent activity they would have been a part of was the Project Aware Week 2020. And they led the debris cleanup of popular diving sites like the Pillars of Hercules, which you would have seen in the photo a few slides back. And again, this is them understanding that the marine environment needs to remain pristine for us to be able to offer the product that the marine visitor or the visitor who wants to go into the marine environment and experience it would want. And just another point, because everybody has a unique selling point, and I will ask Louis to expand on this a little bit more, a little further on in the presentation, but they are the only ones or the only diving operation on Antigua that offers the enriched air nitrox tanks. And that's a big thing for them and for us as well. Okay, so I'm nearing the end of my presentation, and this is just some information as on how to get in contact with us. As I said, the Ministry of Tourism and Investment leads this Greenfins program, and I know we have some local persons who are online with us, and we're asking that, you know, after hearing this, I'm sure you'd want to become Greenfins members. And if we have not reached out to you as yet, you can send us an email and we can register you and start that process. For those of you who are from the international arena, contact us to get more information on our members. You can also check greenfins.net. They are on there with some information. And again, you can contact us if you need any further information from us. And at this point, I just want to say thank you to Reef World Foundation for basically supporting this program for Antigua and Barbuda since 2019, as well as inviting us to present here this afternoon, and as well for just their overall support throughout this entire process. And I also want to thank you who would have joined us here just to listen to us, and I'm hoping that I was able to give you some good insight into Greenfins, Antigua and Barbuda. And so I will stop sharing my screen now. And if it is that we have any questions or comments, you can post it in the chat. We have some time. We have about a half an hour. So, and if you want to have a discussion with me now, feel free to just share your video and audio, and we can have a little discussion if you want to find out some more information. And Louis, if you are able, this is your opportunity to share a little bit more about Dive Carib and what you have been doing. Thank you, Erika, from the EAG. Yes, and we're happy that you did partner with us, and we look forward to that continued partnership. I see David has just entered the session. Yes, so there are no questions or comments. Okay, thank you, Erika. What are the plans for 2021 and onwards? So our intention is to have about 10 persons or 10 tour operators within 2021 to be certified Greenfins members, and to recertify the 6 that we have. So that would be about 16 persons or 16 operators who we would be focusing on. And as well, as I said, we only had 3 local assessors, so our intention is to train up a few more, at least 2 more, so that we would have a wide enough cadre of local assessors, so you know we can do this process or have this process done more quickly. Okay, so Arika again from EAG asks, how do you hope to engage other agencies to become assessors? We have already started the process. We have engaged National Parks Authority because, of course, they are key because they have a very vast marine environment. And so, you know, that definitely is an agency whom we have targeted. And we were supposed to start training this year. However, that did not pan out. So 2021, that agency will be definitely contacted. And we are planning on contacting you again, EAG, to provide us with another person's, another individual who we can train up. Okay, so the EAG is interested in working with our team to provide them with our tailored green leaf certification. Excellent. So I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about that, Arika, what that green leaf initiative or certification is.
Hi, sure, I would love to. And thank you for giving me the time to speak about this, Vashti. So the Environmental Awareness Group developed a green leaf certification, which really focuses on helping businesses to look at their full sustainability package. So what we loved about the Green Fins is that it kind of really focused specifically on, okay, like how do you manage when you're out in the marine environment? But we wanted to make sure that your entire organization, even from how you manage your paperwork, how you manage your light bills, every single part of your organization becomes sustainable. And so it's something that we're trying to roll out. I mean, especially with COVID, it's been a bit difficult, but we would really love to offer this service to anyone who's very interested in making sure that sustainability is streamlined throughout their operations.
Okay, so thank you for that, Arika, and we will definitely be working with you on that because, as she said, this Green Fins program really looks at the environmental standards, or rather the codes of conduct within the marine environment when you actually go out and you actually do the actual tour. And so working from the whole business and through the green leaf certification, we really just connect everything. So you are sustainable from your operations on the ground all the way into providing the tour and beyond. So just to give you guys an idea just of some of the things that or some of the points under the code of conduct that Green Fins has asked for tour operators to adopt is basically adhering to the guidelines, participating in underwater cleanups, which some of our dive operators are doing, participating in developing and implementing mooring buoy programs, so putting in these moorings and actively using them rather than anchoring on the reefs or on the seabed, using the moorings for the boats, prohibiting sale of corals and other marine life in your dive operations. So not breaking off any coral and saying, okay, I'm selling this. So totally just not doing that. Participating in regular coral reef monitoring and reporting on the coral reef monitoring, providing that data to those persons who require that database, like for instance, the national parks and for instance, the Department of Environment as well. And we do have some of our sorry, I just saw a note coming from Louis. Right, so we do have some businesses who are conducting coral reef monitoring, or at least assisting with that, providing adequate facilities on board the vessels to ensure that the waste does not get thrown into the ocean, abiding by the regulations that are in place, and just providing the whole Green Fins guidelines to your guests upon their briefing, and also encouraging a no-touch policy as well. So Louis has no audio or video, but he can definitely tell us a bit about what Dive Carib does and what it achieves within the chat. I'm not sure what's happening, Louis, but you should have been able to share your video at the top right-hand corner of the screen. But you can go ahead typing within the chat if you do not see that. Not sure exactly why it's not happening. In the meantime, do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, so Dive Carib is basically supporting the Green Fins Initiative. He has been one of our members since 2019, and he has also been involved in green initiatives from way back. In other dive operations that he would have managed as well. And he has also been opposed to anchoring. So he has used moorings. He's placed them, actually put them in himself, and actually uses them, which is a great thing because we have that issue. They're limited moorings that are around the marine environment. So the fact that he's able to put in his own moorings and use them shows that, you know, he's thinking green and maintaining that. Okay, so he also said, okay, thank you, Louis. He follows the no touch, no take, no harassing procedures, and that is given during the briefing. So you do not touch anything, you do not, and they take this very seriously because our assessors who went out with them could tell you that they take this thing very seriously. You do not touch and you do not disturb the marine environment. I know that we have Sophie on the call as well. So I don't know, Sophie, if you could give us a bit of your experience as a local assessor, because Sophie is one of the persons who was pictured in our slides. And she was also involved in assessing these businesses who are now certified. So if you are willing, you are free to share with us, Sophie, some of your experiences that you had while doing so. Yes, and Louis also says that he also uses reusable cups. So he does not use the plastic. He uses the reusable cups. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Vashti. Yeah, no, it's been a really good experience for me personally. And I think one of the things that really stood out was how creative the tour operators that did sign up to Green Fins, how creative they have actually been in just a very short period of time in trying to adapt to the kind of Green Fins standards. So yeah, I look forward to more tour operators signing on.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sophie. Okay, do we have any more questions or comments? Okay, and Louis is still typing. He's looking forward to work a little bit closer with national parks and with us. Yes, definitely. And it's specifically in the Pillars of Hercules area. That's a very popular area for snorkeling and diving. You have quite a few of our tour operators using that. So definitely we need to look at implementing that safe zone, that eco zone within that particular area. So thank you for that, Louis, and we look forward to working with you as well. Right, and those are some of the issues that we are having. Persons are still anchoring, and we still have that issue with debris from fishing lines and nets and these sort of things. And so you have that issue with divers within the area. You know, sometimes you come up and that's all that's in your face. And I mean, that's a serious issue environmentally and for safety reasons as well. So definitely that is something that we need to work a little bit on. Yes, and actually Rulio is one of the persons who we are targeting to be one of our local assessors as well, being a part of the National Parks Authority. And so we intend to work with him a little bit more closely as well. And for those of you who are just joining, I'm just reading what Louis Evans, one of our Greenfins members, is sharing in the chat, as he is not currently able to share his video and audio or access his video and audio. So I was just sharing that. Do we have any more questions or comments from anyone? Still have a few more minutes. Okay, and I think we have some international persons who are online with us. So I don't know if you guys have anything to ask or to add, because we're really happy to have you joining us. Any questions or comments that you may have? Oh, Louis is still sharing. Okay, Louis, it's a pity that your video and your audio is not working, because I know we would have had a great presentation from you. Yes, Louis says he's planning on starting a coral nursery within the area. So as I said, he works primarily, or he dives all over, but he dives specifically or primarily within the national parks area. So he is actually starting to look at developing a coral nursery within the area. And of course, he would have to be assisted through the Department of Environment and the Ministry of Fisheries to ensure that this is done in a proper way. But that is great, and this is the kind of thinking that we want from our Greenfins members and just from our entire marine tour operators fraternity. And so yes, and he's going to be replanting and that sort of stuff, because we do have suffer from other marine issues as it relates to the coral reefs, bleaching and the loss of the corals and those sorts of things because of different anchoring and all of these things. So the fact that tour operators have seen the need to do something like that, specifically Dive Carib, it is great to see. And this shows you just, you know, what tour operators and dive operators can do and bring to the table to ensure the sustainability of our marine environment. Thank you, Louis, for that. And we appreciate your support, and you will be definitely, we will definitely be in contact with you, or continue being in contact with you as you work on your projects and as we expand our Greenfins program. Okay, we're just about 15 minutes away from closing off. So I guess I will just begin my wrap up. Again, thank you very much, all of you who would have joined this session to hear about Greenfins, Antigua and Barbuda. As I said in my presentation, Antigua and Barbuda, it's an island destination. We have 365 beaches and a number of coral reefs and island, offshore islands that offer different activities, or where different activities can be, that you can participate in. Diving and snorkeling is a huge thing for us, because our marine environment, as you would have seen in the presentations, in the presentation before, our marine environment is extremely attractive. And so we would have adopted Greenfins to ensure that our marine environment stays as pristine as it needs to be for our visitors, and also for our benefit as local people, because of course the marine environment doesn't offer the economic part of it. We fish in the area and it provides food, and it also, through the coral reefs and the mangroves that are there, we're offered it offers us protection from you know, sea level rise or surges rather, and that come about from the hurricanes and so forth that frequent the area at certain points in the year. So it helps us a lot, and we would have seen quite a number of benefits from Greenfins. or for us adopting that program. And so we would encourage those persons or dive operators who are on here, international dive operators and the local ones as well, to join Greenfins and to adopt their codes of conduct, because it's an easy process to do, and it is also allowing you to really think about your actions, think about what you do while you're on the tour, and to just keep a check of yourself as well. So we would encourage you to join Greenfins. And for the local persons who may be interested in joining, we had shared the contact information. I'll type it in the chat again for you to contact us if we don't get to you first, because we are going through the process of introducing the program to the additional persons who are there or who we have not been able to check as yet in preparation for 2021, because in 2021, as I said before, there are over 30 snorkeling and diving operators on island, and we intend to get to at least half of that during 2021. Thank you, Erika. And for those of you who did not see that contact information before, that's it in the chat. Okay, no further questions, no comments, nobody wants to add anything? And thank you as well, Louis, for joining us and for giving us a little bit more insight into your operations and what you have been doing. And I would invite other persons who are on this to also visit your website. And I think you're on Facebook and other social media pages to just kind of look into the things that you have been doing as well. Thank you, Amaya. Amaya is also a member of the Greenfins team. Thank you. I don't know if you want to share anything in the last 10 minutes or so of this presentation, anything about your experience or the work being done at Greenfins, Antigua Barbuda. Hello, Clementine and Carolyn. We're just wrapping up. Carolyn, I'm sorry. No, we do not. This is our only session, but I did put in the chat some contact information details. So if you look in the chat, and I'll share them again, you can contact us directly and we can provide you some information, but I think the session is recorded. But you can contact us directly to get some more information on Greenfins Antigua Barbuda. You're most welcome, Carolyn. Thank you for that, Amaya. Yes, I am too looking forward to 2021. We have a lot of businesses to work with, and you know, 2020 things didn't go as planned, but 2021 is an opportunity for us to really go at it hard and ensure that Greenfins Antigua and Barbuda is a program that's adopted by all of our diving and snorkeling operators. Yes, thank you, Louis. I did not have your website close to hand, but yes, thank you for providing that. So everyone, as I said, Dive Carib is one of our leading dive operators and very much along the lines of green. And so he has just posted for us his website, where you can see some of the dive sites that they visit. Some we did show in the presentation, but you can visit those dive sites or visit that website to see those dive sites. And we hope to see you pretty soon in Antigua and Barbuda using our Green Fins members. Okay, so I do not see any more questions or comments in the chat, nor do I see anyone else joining. So once again, thank you all for joining us. If you check the chat, you will see the contact information for us at Greenfins Antigua Barbuda. And so we invite you to send us an email, shoot us an email, and we'll give you some more information about our membership, what they've been doing, how you can contact them if you visit Antigua and Barbuda. So you can do one of their green tours, as well as a local person. If you're on here with us, and I did see a few persons, if you're on here with us, you can contact us as to how we can get you, trained up so that you can become a Green Fins member. So again, thank you for your time.